I hope everybody's having a great day today. I'm having some connection issues, so hopefully that doesn't affect the live. We are going to be, I have a hair right there. We're going to be diving into something that is essential. It is heavy, but it can be made easy, if that makes sense. Like, I was trying to find a way to put it, but it's something that could be heavy if I feel like if you're doing it on your own. Because I know when I was first starting the lifestyle, I wasn't necessarily completely by myself. Like, I did have somebody who had started the lifestyle some months before I did, and so I kind of like saw the effects and also saw the fact that like it was possible. But since they were new and I was new, it wasn't really something that I saw that was going to be a lifestyle for me. Like, it was something that I was just trying out. And so there was still a lot of trial and error. I had tons of research to do for myself. And either which way, regardless if you buy into somebody's program, if you buy into a package, a bundle or something for you to understand how to live plant-based, for you to understand how to transition your lifestyle, you always have research to do for yourself, because you always want to you always want to know what's going on with your food. You always want to know and be in the know when it comes to society and what they are doing with our food, when it comes to the FDA, the CDC, and all the things that are going on. Just like how you watch the news just to know, the weather. Something simple. You should be taking time to know and to care about your health and to understand what's going into your health and going on in the food industry. 1 second. And so, understanding that things are and have been shifting for quite a while. They're shifting tremendously and they're starting to ramp up, but things have been shifting for quite a while. And since it has been, we have to start being more discerning. I said concerning. We have to be more concerned and start to be more discerning and understand that these companies are starting to make a shift. If you're still eating fast food, if you're still eating at these restaurants, they are making a shift because, as you know, not money, but everything is costing more money. Everything is getting more expensive. So these companies know that. You know that your wallet is hurting, and so you don't think their wallet is hurting. You know their wallet is hurting. And so these companies are realizing that they are losing money. You're either not spending as much money as you used to with fast food because you're not eating out as often because it's more expensive, or they are the cheaper option. So you are going to them more, and they're realizing that they are the cheaper option, and they have to raise their price because they're not making the profit margins that they could and they used to. And so understanding that our dollar doesn't mean what it used to, and since our dollar doesn't mean what it used to, they're starting to cut corners. Even as I saw an article the other day, if you don't know, Chick-fil-A is starting to change their chicken. And so they're changing their chicken. They're, antibiotic free, no preservative free, whatever chicken that they have, all the good kind of chicken that they say that they buy, and they make sure that it's from a good source. And everybody loves their Chick-fil-A. Everybody talks about how Chick-fil-A has the best quality of service and food. So if that company, the one that has the best quality, the best food, the best service, and they know that, and you know that, and they make enough money for them to be closed every single Sunday, and they're changing their chicken to something that it's cheaper, because it's no longer having to be, I think if I'm remembering correctly, it no longer has to be, I think antibiotic free. It's either antibiotic or it's either antibiotic or something with I think it's antibiotic, because I don't think it's grass-fed, because I think they're still trying to stick with that. It's one or the other. But either which way, it's changing the fact that they were, prideful on that situation. And it's not like something where they got caught in a scandal and everybody realized that they were not producing the chicken that they were saying. They were giving you good quality chicken, because in my opinion, there is no good quality chicken, but they were giving you the best of the best for fast food. And now they're switching to a okay source, a okay kind of chicken. And the company that heavily love, because so many people love Chick-fil-A, is switching. What do you think these other companies are giving you if they're not at the top quality like Chick-fil-A is? If they're not giving you the quality of service or food that Chick-fil-A gives you, what do you think these other companies are serving you? What do you think you're eating? If they are openly telling you that they are no longer going for the antibiotic free, grass fed, all the other perks that they give when they purchase that chicken, what do you think you're buying into when you go to McDonald's, the cheapest of the cheap, when you go to Burger King, when you go to Sonic, and you go to all these places that are quick and give you a meal within 5 minutes or less, that are quick and can give you something that they throw in a fryer really quickly and serve it to you? What do you think that food is? They're GMOs. They're genetically modified. They're not good for you. They're full of additives, preservatives, antibiotics. Like, all the food that they are giving you is terrible and it's trash, and you have to make a shift in your health. You have to make a shift for yourself. You have to understand that you living a plant-based lifestyle is starting with you knowing how to take care of your body, and you understanding how to take care of your body, and knowing how to make a shift in your health. And that starts with you going back to the basics and learning a plant-based lifestyle, because there is no health with what you're currently doing for yourself. There is no solution to the problem when you are going to keep consuming the way that you do, because you have a problem. You can't just sit here and deny it. If you're suffering from bloating, fatigue, have mental fog, if you're having anxiety and depression, you have a problem. If you've developed diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, if you're just suffering from insulin resistance, painful menstrual cycles, PCOS, endometriosis, if you're sitting here with back pain, hip pain, knee pain, you have an issue. There is something going on, and you have to address it. And if you're not going to sit here and address it, and you're going to keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to keep living the lifestyle that you live, you are going to suffer. You're going to be sick. And that is nobody's fault but yours. Nobody can help you and force you to make a change for yourself. You have to want that change. And so understanding that in order for you to get the change that you want, that you need for your health, you have to become plant-based. You have to transition to a plant-based lifestyle. And so transitioning to a plant-based lifestyle is going to support you in being healthy. And in order for you to do that for yourself, you have to know the foundation steps. You have to get to the space of understanding how to transition to a plant-based lifestyle. So this live is going to be for you to understand what it looks like for you to becoming a plant-based beginner, for you to understand the beginning steps to becoming plant-based, and to get that, and to get that healthy stability in the foundation that you want for yourself. So understanding that first, in order for you to transition to a plant-based lifestyle, because this is going to be a strategy for yourself that you can take and that you can apply so that you can get to the plant-based lifestyle that you deserve and that you want for yourself, so that you can start making change for yourself and making the lifestyle that you deserve, which is you being healthy, your body being able to heal every single day, because your body is designed to heal. And if it's not healing, you're not giving it the things that it needs in order for it to heal. And so the first step for you to understand the beginning steps to becoming plant-based, the beginning foundation, the beginning, I don't even want to say foundation, because this isn't even like the foundational step yet, but this is just for you to dip your toe in the water and for you to get to the space to get to the foundation and to have the stable foundation, is you to understand that you can't just jump into the lifestyle. This is going to be gradual, because when I first was transitioning, if you don't know, because I have a live that I posted about my full transition, understanding and starting in this, and I didn't really give you a strategy, but kind of just told you my story, understanding that it was gradual. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in one day. It didn't happen in a month. It took me first getting facts, me understanding that I want to support my body, me addressing the fact that the things that I wanted for myself weren't happening with the lifestyle that I had, and that I started incorporating new habits for myself. And through me incorporating those new habits, it looked like me stop buying poisonous ingredients, stop buying poisonous foods that were harming my body, starting to just implement small little changes, like I stopped eating ramen, stopped eating all these crappy sugary cereals, and only focused on one if I was going to eat any, and that was the only one that I was going to buy for myself. Stopped buying all these hot chips, because I was eating hot chips at least once a week. and just changing all of these small little changes, and then led to me the big lifestyle change that I deserve and that I wanted for myself. So I understood that gradually I had to make a shift for myself. Gradually I had to understand that the things that I was eating, the actions that I was taking towards my body was harming me, and I was poisoning myself. And a lot of people are unaware because you don't even think of it that way. But it's true. If you are sitting here eating foods that you know that are not good for you, that are harming you, you are poisoning yourself. There is no if, and, or but. You are poisoning yourself. And since you are poisoning yourself, you're leading yourself to a life of suffering, of illness, disease, and inflammation, and wasting away. And that's biblical. That is scripture. Leviticus 26, it talks about the fact that if you are not listening to the Most High's commands, you are not abiding by his ways, you are sitting here developing inflammation, disease, and wasting away. Fact for fact. And you can go look that up for yourself. And so we can look at society and tell that we are not following his ways. And it talks about it all through scripture that we should be fasting, eating the seeded fruit of our labor, and when in Thanksgiving we consume meat and things like that. And on top of the fact that, like, we think that we need a cow's milk in order for us to get calcium, strong bones, and all these things, when it never says in scripture for us to consume cow's milk. The only milk from an animal that it ever says that we should be consuming is goat milk. And none of us are sitting here drinking goat milk. I very rarely hear anybody eat anything besides, drink any other type of, or eat any other type of milk is besides either plant-based or them eating or drinking dairy. I never hear anybody eating goat milk or drinking goat milk. I hear people eat like goat cheese, but nobody is sitting here consuming goat milk. And that is the only one scripturally that they say that it says in scripture that we should be consuming as milk. And so getting away from what society has programmed us to believe was what we should be consuming and what we need for ourselves, we start to realize that we have been lied to, and we are continuously lied to. And that comes with the gradual process of you making change for yourself, is reiterating to yourself that you have to question everything. You have been lied to, and you don't deserve to keep being lied to. You don't deserve to keep poisoning yourself, and you deserve change. And since you deserve change, you are going to make that change for yourself, and it's going to be gradual. It's going to be slow. It's going to look like ups and downs. You're going to have things that come in your way, but you set yourself up for success by starting a stable foundation for yourself. And in order for you to get that stable foundation, you have to invest back in yourself, whether it's you educating yourself, you sitting here and taking the time for you to search things and to look things up and to look at what's going on in your food. Not just a quick Google search, but looking at scholar journals, looking at Google Scholars, and looking at things that are actually going to help you, and people who actually want to give you the factual science and not just give you something that is backed up by the pharmaceutical company, backed up by these people who are paying to poison you. You have to choose yourself first. Choose your health first. And if you're not going to sit here and give yourself the education through you doing research, if you don't have enough time to do that for yourself, you're going to have to invest your money back into yourself to give back to yourself. You're going to have to, start understanding how to read your labels. Know who is a credible source for you to be able to invest in, and to understand how to invest in. And I am one of those people, and if you don't believe me, you can look at my transformation. You can look at the things that I have done for myself, and you can just look at the free knowledge that I give you here on YouTube, on TikTok, and understand that it's possible for you. Even if you don't necessarily buy into the services, all of the free information that I give you right then and there can help you, and it can push you and get you along to the stable foundation that you need for yourself. And if you are ready for that transition, if you need accountability, then that is when you invest in, so that you can get more out of the situation, so you can get more into the lifestyle, and so that you don't regress and just completely drop what you have been learning and what you deserve, because you deserve this gradual change so that you can become plant-based. And so understanding that through that gradual change, you start to focus more on whole foods, release the plant products that you have, all the inflammation products that you consume, dairy, processed foods, meats, and you start to slowly make change for yourself. And so that was the first step in us, just gradually making change. And the second step, even though we've already mentioned this, is just focusing on educating yourself, understanding that you have to learn the lifestyle. You have to relearn, reprogram the habits that you have and to the ones that you want. And you have to release the old habits and get into the new lifestyle. You have to understand the benefits of you living a plant-based lifestyle. Understand how you'll feel better, you'll look better, you'll be energetic, you'll be vibrant, your body will be healthy on the inside, so you'll be functioning the way that you should. If you are suffering from a disease and illness, if you're sitting here having high blood pressure, diabetes, you're sitting here suffering from heart disease, any kidney issues, knee pain, back pain, whatever, you will allow yourself to be able to heal. And I think I went on a tangent and forgot to like go into the story that I was going to tell you, but like about me, how I transitioned and when I changed. Before I transitioned to a plant-based lifestyle, I was over 200 pounds, and like I was going between 190 to 210 to 215s, like could never stay in a healthy state. And like the only way I could stay under 200 was if I would constantly be hungry and then like go back from constantly hungry, binge eating, constantly hungry, binge eating, and never understanding why, because I was eating plenty and I was eating the way that they told me, you know, getting your meat, eating a vegetable, sitting here eating 3 meals a day, eating my oatmeal in the morning, like sometimes eating cereal in the morning, sitting here eating a bread with either with either lunch or dinner or whatever, sitting here eating all these things and getting a variety of foods and not understanding why it wasn't supporting me, not realizing that my body did not need the meat, my body did not need dairy, my body did not need these inflammatory foods, and it was fighting it. It was fighting me because I was not giving myself the things that I needed. And so I had to familiarize myself with plant-based sources of nutrition. I had to familiarize myself with understanding how plant-based is supporting my body type. It's supporting me and allowing me to understand that like I consume I can consume way more food than I did before in a plant-based lifestyle, and I don't even eat as much as I used to now that I have transitioned to plant-based. Now, if I know that I am losing weight and I don't want to lose weight, I do up my intake, but I eat so much protein that I very rarely see myself losing weight unless I'm intentionally losing weight. I'm more active in this lifestyle. I truly can say like I've started running again, and I hate running, but I've been running again, and I've been like, even though I don't like running, enjoying the fact that like I'm in this space now where I can run without my knees hurting. I can do all this activity without my knees hurting, without my hip hurting, my back hurting, and being able to support myself with the nutrition that I need, so I have the energy to actually run. Because I couldn't even imagine back before I transitioned to even like think about running, think about putting the energy in trying to get back into running, because my body was not at the space to be supported to do any of those things. My body wouldn't have been able to do those things without pain. And so I had to educate myself and to reprogram my mind to understand that like I can support my body through the things that I am consuming, and I can support my body with the habits that I have. It's all about me making change and me wanting to make change for myself. And so through that, I started to help myself, and I started to first invest back into myself. And I invested back in myself in a number of different ways. Like I said, educated myself by me looking at journals, looking at scholar journals, looking on Google Scholars, just researching between TikTok, reading books and things like that, because I have various books that I have not looked at completely. But I bought a herbal PDR. I bought what was it? I think it's like it's over 100 different teas of like health and medicine. I bought a holistic healing book, like literally just a number of different things that I can look in, that I was looking into, scanning, looking for different issues, because majority of them have them categorized. So I was looking at like anti-inflammatories, looking at different things that could support me and help me. And then I started to realize that like none of these books are suggesting what society suggests to us. None of these books have any of the programming, that's our weather alert system, because we have storms coming in and out all day. So understanding that none of the things that they have pushed on us as society, the Got Milk campaign, us believing that we have to have meat for protein, us sitting here thinking that cheese and dairy is giving us calcium, cheese is okay for us, it's not inflammatory, that we have been told it's inflammatory by these people who don't know what they're talking about, and all these things, and realize that we have been programmed to eat these things to keep us sick. We have been programmed to eat these things so that we have to sit here and take prescriptions. We have to take inflammatory medicine. We have to keep sitting here living a lifestyle of being unhealthy, so that we are led to buying into a doctor every single year, going and visiting. By the time that we get 40 and 50, we're sitting here constantly going back and forth to the doctor, fighting all these issues, developing cysts, fibroids, sitting here having hormonal imbalances, sitting here having IBS because it's rampant. We're having so many gut issues going on in society, and not understanding that it's linked to the food that we're eating. We're sitting here thinking that we're just not giving ourselves enough probiotics. But if your gut biome is off and you are having all of these diseases inside of you, there is toxicity inside of your body. There are toxic ingredients inside of your body that you have to release. And if you don't know any gut information, if you don't know the link between the gut and your brain, my last couple of lives will support you in understanding that, because your gut is literally linked to your brain. Your gut is connected to you being stable mentally. And so you have to understand that if you are not supporting your body is a full total connection. There is no separate system. There is no separate function. Everything functions together. So if something is off, everything is off. If there is some imbalance, everything is imbalanced. If you are mentally off, there is something inside of you that is also off as far as your systems, as far as your functions and your organs. If your organs are off, there's something going on, and subconsciously it's going to affect you mentally. You're going to start becoming anxious, depressed. You're going to sit here and develop mood disorders. All of these issues are connected. There is no separate thing. And so through me educating myself on that, because I was at a space when before I transitioned that I had suffered for so long, and I can't even like pinpoint exactly when it started, but going back and forth, being anxious. In high school, I suffered from my first panic attack and then had absolutely no idea what was going on. Had absolutely no idea what a panic attack was. No help whatsoever in like the family. That's just like not a thing in Black people's family. Like we don't. What is that? Like literally, what is that? Everybody just stares at you like, what is that? And so there is no therapy. There is no like, as far as looking at like my family, it's just like there is no therapy that's going to help that. There is no like you talk to God kind of situation. Not realizing that I brought it on myself. And yeah, I didn't know, because this is the habits that I was taught and passed down from, family, peers, generations, all of it. So not realizing that the reason why was because of the foods that I was consuming, and I was being unstable, because looking around the time that I was having all the panic attacks, suffering in and out of depression episodes, realizing that I was eating hot chips every single day. I was sitting here eating like big Texas cinnamon rolls every single day, or every other day, or whatever, eating Slim Jims, sitting here eating all this meat, all this McDonald's, inflammatory foods, fried foods almost every other day, eating all this junk food, eating candy, chocolate, like all of this junk full of dairy. Dairy was in almost every single meal that I ate, some kind of dairy. That's where my instability came from. That's where me literally suffering and being malnourished, and to the point where my brain was suffering every single day, developing mood disorders, and me being anxious and depressed every other week, every other day, because of the food that I was consuming and the nutrients that I was lacking in. And so me gaining that education, it allowed me to be released from that hold of me thinking that I was supporting my body and something was wrong with me, rather realizing that I was putting myself in a fight or flight mode. I was putting myself and cursing myself with the habits that I had, and leading myself with this inflammation and leading myself to disease. And I was wasting away every single day because I didn't even want to be here. Like I was just here because I was born. Like this simple as that, just sitting here conformed to the world and disassociating from everything, disassociating from waking up to literally hitting back in my bed again, just sitting here like I have to do it all over again. And the only time that I could look forward to a day was on the weekend, just so I could sit down and not have to do anything. Not realizing that I was so fatigued, I was so depressed and anxious, and I was so in so much pain because I was playing sports at the time. So it was like I had things to do, like I had hobbies, I had things I enjoyed. I loved drawing and all these other things, but they were means for me to escape the reality of the fact that I was unhappy. They were means for me to escape because I didn't know what was going on and I didn't know how to support myself. And all of these things allowed me to still be here on this earth, but also allowed me to disassociate myself even more, so that after the fact, I had something to complain about in a way for me to say like, oh, my knees hurt. That's just because I play a sport. Oh, my back is hurting. It's just because I play a sport. Oh, I'm extra hungry today. That's because I played a sport. Like I run around, like things like that, just saying things like that. And I realizing that like you're extra hungry because you're not getting the nutrients that you need, and you've lost so much from you running around all day playing this sport. You're sitting here depressed and anxious because you're sitting here and malnourished. You're sitting here with knee pain and back pain because you don't give yourself the nutrients that you need. You have so much inflammation inside of your body because you eat a bunch of junk all the time. You're on the go all the time, eating a bunch of like snack wraps from McDonald's, eating milkshakes before a game, drinking Starbucks, like just simple things. It's like you're making yourself inflamed, and that's the reason why you're in pain. And I was suffering from knee pain in middle school. Like had knee pain from middle school all the way through college, sitting there trying to figure out like why in the world. My doctor telling me when I turned 18 and I was going off to college that I had to quit a sport, or I was going to have a knee transplant by the time that I turned 23. And so I'm sitting here like, well, I'm not going to have a major surgery, so I guess I'm not going to play a sport. Like I would never do that to myself. Situation like it will never be that serious. And even though I loved volleyball, I loved it so much, sitting there thinking about the fact that I would have to have a surgery over playing a sport, I chose to not have the surgery. So I was just like, I'd rather not do that to myself. And I realized that, and if I would have known that I just needed to have anti-inflammatory help, I probably could have played that sport and enjoyed it, and probably would have been very upset about how much running I did, but it would have been healthy. It would have been happy that I got to do something that truly fulfilled my life because I loved playing volleyball. But that thought process that I was in, the place that I was in that moment, life was happening to me, not for me. And so I'm sitting here thinking like, of course my life would go this way. Of course I would have to have a surgery by 23 if I sit there and continue to play the sport that I love. So I just will give it up, because what else am I going to do? I'm not going to have a surgery. And so I started to experiment with different things. And that's going to be our third thing, is experimenting. Understanding that you have to try different things. You have to try new things. It didn't come to me overnight. I didn't just sit here and all of a sudden, boom, knew how to cook up all these plant-based meals, had all these ideas, just was boom, 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 shooting down all these strategies for myself. I sat there for over 2 years trying to contemplate and figure out what was the step for myself. I tried herbalism first, just tried different herbs for me to help myself. Realized that wasn't enough. That was good, but it wasn't enough. And so then I started to try implementing different things. And like I said, because it was a little over 3 years ago, I started just, winging myself off of meats. And then I tried different plant-based meals, started trying different plant-based things, or different vegan meals, because that's how I started at first, was grabbing vegan things from the frozen section, grabbing, labeled vegan, like jackfruit and the frozen things, and like the frozen little patty meals and all those things, just trying them. And some of them were okay and they had good ingredients, and others didn't. I wasn't really aware of reading labels. But once I started getting sick and started to realize that like my health wasn't shifting the way that it should have been, because I was eating better, I was eating healthier, realizing that I wasn't getting enough real whole foods. Even though I still was shifting the lifestyle, I was eating more fruit than I was before, I was eating way more vegetables than I was before, I still wasn't getting enough whole foods. And so I started to experiment with more recipes. I started to give myself more fresh fruits and started to try to figure out different ways for me to implement it into my life. And it completely changed me. Like, it completely helped. Like, I tried so many different things. And now I can say, like, being almost 3.5 years, I think I'm 3.5 years in, but almost 3.5 years, if not 3.5 years in, I literally can whip up something in a flash. Like, I can sit here and be like, what do I want? And as how you look at food now, where you're like, I'm sick of hamburgers, I'm sick of chicken, I'm sick of eating this over and over and over again, these same three things. I was once there. I was there all the time when I lived my lifestyle before. And I'm now at this space where when I'm plant-based, I am plant-based, and the plant-based lifestyle that I live, I sit here and I think, like, sometimes, like, I love chickpeas, I love quinoa, and I love the combination of both with some hummus. So I'm always like, I'm down for that. I love that. And then I sit here and I think, and I'll eat that like 3-4 days in a row because I love it. I really like have no issue with me eating it because I can spice it up in different ways. I'll sit here and be like, you know what? I don't really want that again. But like it'll be 2 days in, and then I revamp it. All I have to do is, add some balsamic vinegar. I'll sit here and I'll season it a different way. Sometimes I make my chickpeas sweet, and it just revamps the meal. Sometimes I add some bread with it, like just simple things to make it to change it up, and it revamps the meal, and it's like something new basically. And so my creativity is endless when it comes to this lifestyle. Like literally, when I tell you, like for me experimenting, I've realized like so much creativity comes with me cooking. And even far as like not even just eating the same meal every single day, but like me coming up with different ways to make the meals that I used to love in a plant-based form. Because people love to argue about the fact that if you're plant-based, why do you want to eat the same meals that you used to eat? Why do plant-based people love to make meats, fake meats? You have to realize, because it is literally in our programming as a person, we fall to what is familiar. We go back to what is familiar. So if you can make something that is familiar to you in a healthy form, you're more likely to eat it. You're more likely to stick with it. And that's how I experimented myself into this lifestyle, was making things that I was familiar with in a plant-based form, and realized that like everything can be made in a plant-based form and it can be delicious. And so going through that and my love for food, and me realizing that I could literally make every single thing that I love in a plant-based form, whether it's a meal or a dessert, it made me realize that like this process is possible for me, and I'm going to stick with it, because there's no reason for me to sit here and go back to the inflammatory lifestyle that I was living just because somebody else has a problem with me not eating meat. Somebody else has a problem with me not consuming dairy. Somebody thinks I need to add soy in my life, when it's not true, because soy causes you estrogen dominance inside of your body. Meat and dairy cause hormonal imbalances. So all of these things are throwing you off chemically inside of your body, and you don't deserve that. And so understanding that our fourth strategy in this process is listening to your body. You have to start realizing that the signs that your body gives you are literally spiritual signs. Your body is not just giving you inflammation. It's not just sitting here developing a disease for you to sit there and be like, oh, okay, and then just move on about your business. It's showing you signs that there's something wrong on the inside, and you have to listen to your body. That means you are built up with inflammation. If you have developed disease, if you are sitting here developing diabetes, high blood pressure, you're sitting here with knee pain, back pain, you have arthritis, you're sitting here with PCOS, endometriosis, you're sitting here with painful menstrual cycles, you have cysts, fibroids, you're sitting here with low testosterone, low sperm count, you're sitting here with infertility issues. You have to listen to your body and understand there is a hormonal imbalance that needs to be fixed. There is something going on inside of your body that needs your attention, and you have to figure out where it's stemming from. You have to start making changes in your lifestyle. Change your habits so that you can support your body in healing, because your body is designed to heal, and you deserve to be healing. You deserve to be living a lifestyle of your body healing every single day. And if you are not doing that for yourself, you are suffering. You are causing your body to suffer. And so listening to your body's cues and understanding and living according to the cues that your body is giving you, that is how you support your body in being healthy. And that is through you releasing the poisonous, toxic foods that you are consuming currently. And if you are at the point where you're just like, I need this for myself, like I want this for myself, and I deserve the foundation for me to learn how to live a plant-based lifestyle so I can support my body, I can support myself, my amazing masterclass will support you. It's a replay, that happened in January. It's a replay, and that masterclass is going to support you because it shows you the foundational steps for you transition to a plant-based lifestyle. It gives you all of the issues with what you're living, the life that you're living, because I'm going based off of not only science, but what I've experienced for myself, and giving you the scripture to put towards it, so that you can make the connections and you can understand what's going on inside of your body and understand how we are harming our body as a society. And as well as that, I have a bundle that is going on right now. That bundle is giving you that masterclass. It's giving you my Purge the Poison ebook, and more understanding and insight into the situation, so that you can have that stable foundation, so that you can transition and support your body. It's only $47, so you can truly support yourself with that. And so that's leading us into the fifth strategy that we have for ourselves, is to stay connected. You have to have a connection in this situation for you to be able to see how abundant this lifestyle can be for yourself. You can't just sit here and stay on the regular programming that you have of you sitting here watching all these foods and all these things on social media and not following any like plant-based accounts. Like, I follow so many plant-based accounts, but I still follow a few meat eaters just so I can get ideas. But however, like, you have to start giving yourself reprogramming in a way. Just give yourself the programming that you need for you to live the plant-based lifestyle. So just for you to look at recipes online, looking at different accounts like on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook that make plant-based recipes, going to, events for plant-based, going to just, or like vegan plant-based, whatever you want to call it, because they're in the same categories, just like apples and oranges, but they're not the same thing. So you can go to a vegan event, but you still have to ask questions and know what's in your food. Do not consume soy. I'm going to say that again. Do not consume any soy-based products. But just understand and get into the space of connecting with like-minded individuals so that you can support yourself in transitioning, so it doesn't seem like you're alone. Because like I said in the beginning, I did have somebody that was in the lifestyle before I started, so I got introduced, but also like was supportive of them because I understood that like you can live whatever lifestyle that you want, and I want to see what it does. And so I started to see and I started to learn, and so I wanted to be like that. Like, I wanted to be in that lifestyle of understanding how to support my body to be healthier. And so getting around a like-minded individual allowed me to see how easy it can be and to shift to get to the space for me to develop healthier habits over time and for me to develop better habits over time, and allowing myself to connect with other people that live the lifestyle that I live, because I have met so many different people that are in the community, and accidentally as at that, like, it's kind of funny how accidentally I met people in the lifestyle, and even so much of me being able to teach them new things and them being able to teach me new things. And so we built a connection and we're able to educate each other. And so you can do things as simple as like making a connection and going and signing up for a vegan plant-based cooking class, like something that gets you out into the space of you being in the space around other people and you being in the environment and building yourself a community, because you're going to have to build yourself a community. And through you getting that foundation, if you decide to, educate yourself or to buy into me so that I can help you get educated the way that I live the lifestyle, and so that you can do it with the easy transition, because I always give you strategies, it's going to help you. And so that's going to lead us to our sixth and our final point in this strategy, is being kind to yourself and being understanding and just being patient, knowing that this transition is going to take time, knowing that it's a journey and it's not a race. It is something for you to establish through small habits, changing and implementing little small habits for yourself. And it's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, but setting yourself up for success so that when it is a point where you feel like there's a down coming, you don't fail. You don't fall back on your old habits, because failure can happen. I've made plant-based meals and they've been very crappy. They did not taste good. I've never made anything that was disgusting where I threw it away, but I've made something where it was just like, okay, I'm not going to make this again. Like, I didn't season it correctly. But I never was like, I'm not going to eat this, and then went in the fridge and then got me some meat and cooked me some meat. And funny enough, I made more mistakes later on in the journey than I did in the beginning of the journey. It was midway, like a year and a half, 2 years in, when I started to mess up. And so understanding that I had set myself up with a stable foundation for me to be able to fall back on. So when I did mess up, it wasn't like, oh, the world is ending, I can't do this, I will never be able to do this. But rather, I had a positive mindset of understanding, like, well, I did mess up. I can laugh at myself and I can keep going, because at the end of the day, I have given myself grace, and I know that I have grace, and I know how much my body has been supported through this lifestyle and this transition. And the old lifestyle, the old me, doesn't have any space here anymore, and I don't deserve to live that lifestyle anymore because it wasn't serving me. And so through me progressing, through me understanding and progressing through the lifestyle, I was able to support myself becoming healthier, support myself with the lifestyle that I deserved, and gave myself exactly what I needed. And so if you want that stable foundation, the total full, because this is just part of the strategy, this is just one part of the strategy, you have to get the whole foundation. That masterclass replay bundle is going to support you. It is truly going to give you exactly what you need. I called it, it's the Vibrant Bundle. The link is in my excuse me, I keep feeling like I have to like either sneeze or something. It's something like stuck in my nose, but it's called the Vibrant Bundle. You can go grab that, and it will support you in not only understanding the foundation for you to transition to a plant-based lifestyle, but you to also to get to the space of purging poison from your life by understanding how to read your labels and understanding